Good morning. This is the Blaine's World podcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can get more information and listen to previous shows on our website, www.blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. And each week we focus on positive news and information about people and organizations in both Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce Charlie Wilson, who's an actor, singer, voiceover artist, you name it. That's Charlie Wilson. And Charlie, you can feel free to wave to all your fans and friends who are watching this.
Howdy,
And
howdy.
okay, and that's Charlie Wilson, who you may have seen around in area theater and other local places. But I should mention that in your spare time too, Charlie, and aside from performing, you also have a day job as well. And what
Correct.
is that?
Work full time in the internet sales department at Prestige Subaru, which is part of Anderson Automotive Group, and I've been there for 2 years, and couldn't ask for a better place to work. And I also work part time at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn as a jewelry salesman
Okay.
too.
And we also mentioned when we talked about the other work you do that you also did, which is kind of cool. You just did a commercial for them as well. I understand the Prestige.
Yeah,
Okay, and we'll
yeah.
talk.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, we'll talk about that in a second. But Charlie, let me ask you this question because I guess I know you sort of as an actor and performer. You grew up as a child where?
Here in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay, as a child, did you know that you wanted to be a performer?
Absolutely. My father, I know we had touched on it on the previous interview, but my dad actually was born during the Great Depression, so I was influenced. I mean, as a kid, I watched Ghostbusters and Batman and stuff like the other kids my age, but I also was raised on Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Laurel and Hardy, Harold Lloyd, or Abbott and Costello, W.C. Fields, and I just that's how I those were my idols. And then of course as I got older, it was just I got into like Humphrey Bogart and James Cagney is one of my favorites, and Edward G. Robinson, and yeah,
Well,
I'm an old school guy.
let me ask you in terms of being the kind of guy you are. When did you start acting or performing?
I've been a performer now for about 25 years. Of course, I started, like a lot of people do, doing plays in school and stuff. And then when I got to high school, I was a member of the men's chorus at Inca High School, class of 2002. I actually lettered in chorus, and that was probably where I felt my calling as a performer because I ended up not only being part of a group, but I also competed on the regional and state level in vocal competitions.
Now, you mentioned before that you also acted in school plays and stuff. Do you remember the very
Mhm.
first play you were ever in?
Oh Lord, yes, absolutely.
What was it?
Um, we did a in sixth grade at Hall Creek Elementary School. We did a play where us kids were performing musical numbers from each decade, from 1900 to 1990, or the 1900s to the 1990s. And when it came to the 60s, I actually got to be George Harrison of the Beatles, which was really cool. A lot of fun to do
How
that.
old, how old were you?
Oh, geez, I was probably about 10 or 11 at that time. It was sixth grade.
Now, do we have a video of that?
I actually have a VHS copy of that somewhere
You,
around here.
you really well, we're talking off the air about how to reach you and find out more information about you. Strong suggestion, put that up there.
Oh,
And
absolutely. I'd be
would,
happy to.
wouldn't that be cool? So first performing, you have it, but so as a kid you performed. When did you start getting into plays after that? I've seen you as an actor in several plays. When did you start becoming an actor?
Well, it was right around 2017. I had decided that I wanted to start performing, but I knew I didn't. I had been in Asheville Symphony Chorus for about 10 years off and on since I was in high school, actually. And after that, I was like, I really want to do more. I want to have in the chorus. It's a lot of fun, but you don't really get any solos. You don't get a chance to really, do what you want as far as that goes. I mean, great group, but so Sarah Fowler, who was a
Sure.
schoolmate of mine from Inca High School, she and I kept in touch through social media, and she had posted online that she was going to be the music director for Zombie Prom out at Hart Theater. And I remember reaching out to her and saying, that's really awesome that you're doing that now. And I told her, I said, I really want to get back out there and start performing and doing something. And turns out she offered me the role, of a part in the musical. She said, I think you'd be perfect for it. And I did that. And the rest is history. Like, I haven't looked back since. And
I
it just
remember
started a whole.
I saw that show, I remember, and I really liked it to see you in a very serious dramatic role. It's Zombie Prom. But that was cool because I didn't think I'd have any interest in the play, but it was really kind of a fun thing to watch.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was your first play, if you will, as kind of as an adult. And I've seen you several things since then. Talk about what else you've done as a performer.
Well, immediately after Zombie Prom, I guess you could say I got the bug, and I just went online and started, looking for auditions and looking for things coming up. After Right after Zombie Prom, I actually got cast in All Is Calm: The Christmas Truce of 1914 at NC Stage,
Okay,
and
right.
that was terrific. That was fun.
I didn't realize you were in that, but yeah, I saw that too. That was quite a performance. And
Hmm.
so, well, that's two very exciting first roles. My favorite one I think I've seen you perform in, you were also Roosevelt in a play. What was that?
Yeah, I played Teddy Brewster in Arsenic and Old Lace, and his and he's kind of a crazy person, but he thought that I guess the way I identified the character was he didn't really have an identity of his own, so he thought, well, I'll just be the strongest idol I could think of, and then he chose Teddy Roosevelt, and then he thought that he was. So that was a lot of fun to play that part.
Okay, you really
And
hit that. That was just like you said, a lot of fun to watch. And rather than go to
thank
every
you.
play, any others that come to mind that you've done?
Oh, wow. Of course, I've got to mention right off the top of the bat playing Friar Tuck in Robin Hood Quest for Justice
Okay,
for
right.
Montfort, and I kind of got to cut my teeth on Shakespeare by doing. I got to play the Prince, Princess Gallus, and the Apothecary in the Ballad of R and J, Romeo and Juliet for the American Myth Center, and that was my first Shakespeare play. And then almost immediately after that, I did Hamlet for Montfort Park, and I played the part of Rosencrantz, and
Okay.
that was really cool.
Do you have anything down the road? Do you have any, well, two things. One, do you have any play your part you've always wanted to do or would want to do in the future?
Yes, my Hart actually just did two of my bucket list plays this past season that I see myself, hoping that I get one day. One being Death of a Salesman because I love
Right.
Arthur Miller. I've always thought he was a great writer. Uh, I've always wanted to do The Odd Couple. Obviously, Oscar. I couldn't. I don't know if I could pull Felix off or not, but I would try. And I've also wanted to do Monty Python Spam a lot because I love doing musicals, and I've been a Python fan as far back as I can remember. And
By the way,
let's see.
did you get to see those productions at Hot this year?
Unfortunately, no. Like I planned on going. I was planning on going with my wife, and unfortunately, we both got sick, which was no fun, and we had to miss both productions.
It's a
We were supposed to
shame.
go see Death of a Salesman too, and
Yeah, they
yeah,
both hit it. They were fantastic shows. So, in terms of performing, and then you and I have talked off the air as well. You have a couple of exciting gigs coming up too. I know some actual film work you're going to be doing, or you've done.
yeah. I actually just completed two films. I did one film for the Asheville School of Film. It was a film called Goodbye Talia, and I play a villain in that called Rook. And that was a fun role to play because I could be as evil as I wanted to be, and it's kind of a story within a story, which was cool. And then right after that, um, I did a film for the Actors Center of Asheville in Black Mountain, which I'm thinking about when it's time for me to go back to acting classes and such. That's where I want to go because I'm already pursuing. I'm already on IMDb. I'm on Actors Access. I'm trying to go to that next level and start getting television film work, and I haven't really been back to acting classes since John Mennick passed away. God rest his soul. That was sad because he was like a father figure to me. But I'm looking into the Actors Center of Asheville for classes and seeing where I can take my career.
It's funny you say that. I don't see you as a villain, so that's kind of interesting that you're as
It
no,
was
because
so much fun.
really, because is that the first time you ever been a villain?
No, I did Shakespeare in Love at Montford, and I played Fenneman, who started out in the story as a villain, but he kind of went on to become kind of a good guy. He kind of had a change of heart, change of stripes, so to speak. And I've also, geez, what other villains have I played?
A couple down the road.
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
know
even
I've played something. Yeah,
well, even you
definitely.
mentioned too, and we'll talk about your YouTube channel. There's a clip I was watching before. You're a villain in a clip on the YouTube channel, one of the films.
Mhm.
You were there was a film that you're in with two women, and there's a gun
Yes.
involved in.
Yeah.
You you
Yeah,
you
that's
were
Wanda. Yeah.
you were a villain in that.
No, I actually Wanda was a that was another great opportunity for me. That was my first film with uh working with the mass communications department at UNCA. Um, they were casting for actors for a student film, and fortunately, I got cast in the role. And in the movie Wanda, I play Wanda's husband, Jim Bob, and I have she and I have split, and the way the story goes is her character and mine have split up, and I've moved on to someone else, and she wants to take revenge on me and the woman I'm with by hiring a professional hitman. And that that was pretty fun. First time actually using a gun on camera, and then ironically, I did a film later where I died on camera for the first time by being shot. Ironically, so
Now, do
got
you
to
have a
do
preference?
both sides of the coin.
Do you have a preference in terms of theater or film?
Um, I think uh, theater kind of keeps you on your toes because it keeps your skills sharp, especially with ad libbing and being able to improvise. A live audience will do that for you every time, and my theater experience is priceless. I wouldn't trade it. With a film, you can you can get take after take, but as far as preference, it's really hard to have one. I love them both equally, I would say. But
Because the film stuff, again, more people can see it conceivably, but it's a different kind of, I guess, acting, and we'll have to see it. Or since you
yeah,
mentioned it, Charlie, one of the cool things you have is you have I think a really interesting YouTube channel, and why don't you mention
thank you.
that too? Because if people want to see Charlie Wilson, both in terms of some of his commercial work, his acting as well, they can find you on YouTube. How?
If you go to YouTube, and I'll be happy to supply the link to anybody who wants it. If you go to YouTube and search under if for the username, look for at Charlie Wilson Actor 828, and that should take you to my channel. And when you get on my channel, there'll be my voiceover video for Subaru that I did, as well as the film I did for AB Tech, the student film I did for AB Tech. But the bulk of my media that I've done so far is in my playlists, which include not only films but plays, commercials, and I think I even have the link on there to the Stained Fortune podcast as well, which I did 15 episodes
Okay, if you can
of.
mention that again too, if folks want to track you down, certainly that's one of the best ways to track you down.
Mhm,
You and I have found each other that way. And that's at
mhm.
YouTube. And again, would you repeat the address again?
Yeah, it's the at San app or the ampersand Charlie Wilson Actor 828. And I'm also active on currently I've pared down my social media completely because I want to revamp the whole thing. Currently I'm on LinkedIn as well, and which is where Blaine, you and I we've talked on there, and I'm also I think yeah my YouTube and my LinkedIn is pretty much it. People can also email me at charliewilsonactor.com, or I'm sorry, charliewilsonactor@gmail.com. Excuse me.
And by the
So.
way, when you look up Charlie, make sure you put that full address that he gave you, because you'll see a lot of other Charlie Wilsons, but there's only one Charlie Wilson actor. Talk about some other
Hope
things
so.
you've done too. You're talking about your singing background. So you started out as a choir in high school? Was that when you started or before then?
Correct. Yeah, I started in my men's chorus at Inca High School when I was a freshman, and I actually did both semesters of all 4 years because that's how much it meant to me. And I got to not only do concerts for Inca High School, but I also got to compete on a regional and state level. I got to go to Mars Hill. Well, as let me back up here. As far as Mars Hill goes, we used to go there for choral competitions in high school, and I've done all county, and I've done district choral festival and solo. Let's see, did the solo ensemble festival. I did that twice. Junior year, I got an excellent rating for a solo that I did, and then I got a superior my senior year, which was it was fantastic. I was very excited about that. And then in 2002, I actually was a member of the Mars Hill Choral Clinic, which was a combination of different high school choruses from the Southeast, from Florida, Georgia. And we did this huge concert, and it was from South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia. And we did this huge concert at Mars Hill, and that was also, and it was under the direction of Andre Thomas, who we actually got to perform one of his pieces while he conducted us, which was unbelievable. It was
Now, are
amazing.
you doing any other choral work now?
Not at the moment. I mean, I'm dipping my toe back into the music aspect of it. I want to. I still would like to record some demos and you know record some music. Me doing some covers of music. Just to kind of keep my vocal cords in shape and get it where it needs to be.
By the way,
And maybe,
is that on your YouTube channel at all? Any you're singing?
unfortunately not. I've got a lot of demos and things that I can put out there. Currently, I use an app called Smule. It's Smule,
Right.
and it's a karaoke app. And not only is it set up like a karaoke machine, but it also records for it. It records you, and it's really good quality recording. And I actually use that for any kind of audition that I'm doing where if I'm going to be a vocalist, aside from being an actor, I'm going to be a vocalist. So I'll send that in and see what the directors think.
Well, and please put that up on the YouTube channel or some of the clips
Yeah,
there, because I'd love to
absolutely.
see that,
Yeah,
or see you singing. They can go to the YouTube channel eventually and hear you singing. What kind of music do you like to sing?
a little bit of everything. I find myself uh, being kind of. I've got an artist and I've got a favorite artist in every genre. If you want to go classical, I'm a big Mozart fan. Um, as far as I love classic rock. Big fan of the Beatles, Elvis, the Monkees. Huge fan of Kiss. They just had their final concert, Forever, which was awesome to see. And I love the Temptations. Big into Motown as well. In fact, if you ever see me at a karaoke shindig, my two go-to songs are Beth by Kiss or Just My Imagination by the Temptations. And I think the Temps are the greatest R&B group of all time. They're just hands down my favorite.
So you're a big karaoke guy as well?
I used to be. I haven't done it in a long time, but I would love to be able to do it. Absolutely. It would be a blast to get back in front of a mic for sure.
In your spare time, you also do, I mean, I can't believe how many different things you do. And one of them is talk about the voiceover work. So we mentioned the one commercial. And so
Mhm.
talk about how you got into that or what got you interested in voiceover work.
Well, technically, my first gig was doing that Subaru video. Like I say, I've been an employee of Prestige Subaru now for about 2 years total, and that particular video we produced as a way to put out on social media for folks that were coming into Prestige for service appointments. Because if you've ever been to Prestige, we've got multiple buildings up and
Right.
down Tunnel Road. So it was basically an instructional video to show folks where to go to check in for their service appointment. And originally that was part of just the service department. Now we've actually incorporated it into sales, and now it's just all over. In fact, it's even gone out on flyers for you know discount on oil changes or any kind of service. You go in there, there'll be a QR code on the flyer, and you just scan it, and it takes you right to my video. Like it's unbelievable, and I
Oh,
didn't know it was going to grow that far, but I'm humbled by it for sure.
well, it must be cool for you that some people have said they've heard you or seen it. Have you had
Yeah.
anybody and they knew
Oh.
it was you?
No, well, I'm actually on the video too. I'm a service greeter out in the service drive. I'm that guy that'll come out with the iPad and get you checked in. And that was my original position when I started with Prestige. And so I'm on camera doing my day job, but I'm acting like I'm doing my day job. And I'm doing the voiceover for the video, which was great.
Well, that must have been fun then to have done that. Let me ask you
Oh yeah.
too, how long did that take to do?
Not long. We took a couple of hours. I was doing two positions at the time. I was a service greeter, and then 2 days a week I was the receptionist for the dealership. So we had a couple of hours in the day where we could do it. So we filmed the actual check-in. And if you watch the video, that's me, and my service manager is actually the one playing the customer. And and of course he's Jason Taylor. He's a great dude. He gave me my first job there. And I think we filmed that, front to back. Anthony Pelly, who his father used to own Prestige Subaru, he's our marketing guy, and he actually shot that whole thing and used his equipment for the voiceover for me to do that. And I dare say I probably did about took me about an hour and a half to do the voiceover. They kept wanting me to do take after take, but they gave me creative input to do it as well, and I just love doing it. I mean, I think I've got a marketing thing that's always been a passion, advertising, marketing, and they kind of just let me run wild on that, which I loved.
By the way, if you want to see this video again, just go to Charlie's YouTube channel. We'll ask once again, the address
Mhm.
is what is it?
Oh, it's at Charlie Wilson Actor 828 whenever you go on YouTube, or we'll be happy to provide the link as well.
So if you want to actually see Charlie both acting and doing the voiceover, check him out. I think you'll be impressed. So any other voiceover work down the road, or are you looking to do any kind of specific voiceover work?
Well, actually, since the pandemic, I was, the first year or two of the pandemic, I was kind of just stagnant. Didn't really know what I was going to do because we were all in lockdown. And a buddy of mine, Carson Fox, he works for B Clip Productions, and I got a lot of work through them. And my first gig with them was doing voiceover for an Americana Grills commercial, and it was a commercial where this teenage girl is going to try grilling for the first time, and she wants to cook her and her dad dinner. So she makes hamburgers and stuff, and he's just so proud and yada yada. And then at the end of the commercial, you hear my voiceover doing Americana Grills, the future in next generation grillers. So you can make an excellent bacon cheeseburger or whatever you want to do. So and that was my first voiceover professionally. Other than the Subaru thing was kind of I'm an employee, so it kind of worked out. But professionally, it was the Americana Grills commercial, and then
Wait, and back up just a second. So
oh
you
yeah,
mentioned
yeah,
name.
sorry,
Who was
sorry.
that? Carson Fox?
Carson Fox, yeah, he
Yeah,
actually just he's an Elf the musical.
I
He
was
does
just
a
going
lot
to
with
say.
ACT.
Yeah, we'll give a shout out. Did you get to see that Elf?
No, no, I
Oh,
hadn't. I wanted to though.
he was
For
so good in that. So if you're listening, Carson, he really hits it. I didn't know that was the same Carson Fox. Good guy. So that was your first one. You started. I cut you off. You
sure.
were talking about something else you've done voiceover.
Oh yeah. B Clip opened another amazing door for me in my acting career. I actually got to do right after that. I got to do the Ingles 2022 Thanksgiving commercial, which actually won a Telly Award, and that blew me away when I found that out. So
Very exciting. Is that on your
that,
website? Is that on the YouTube page as well?
yeah, it's under the playlist.
Okay.
It's a hilarious commercial, and B Clip always does a great job with what they do. Um, and then there's another video on my playlist if you want to check it out. It's also a B Clip production. Uh, they were doing a press day down at I say the Civic Center. I'm a local. What can I say? But at the actual Civic
Right.
Center, they did a the Cherokee thing.
Right.
they did a press day for the SoCon basketball tournament because Ingles, is a sponsor for
Right.
that. And I actually got to do a comedy ad bit for the mascot challenge, and it was me and the Spartan from UNCG, and we did this comedy spot that was made into an ad, and that was a lot of fun to
Oh,
do
very
as
cool.
well.
I can see you doing that. Is that on the YouTube channel as well?
Oh yeah, all the B clip stuff is on there. Um, and then I got really a terrific opportunity. Sorry if I'm taking the
No,
lead
no,
here.
I'm fascinated by this. Go ahead. You're on a roll.
Back in June, I got hired by B Clip. They were doing a corporate training video for an HVAC company down in Charlotte, and I got to play. And Carson called me, and he knew what he was saying when he was talking to me about the gig. He's like, I've got like the best role for you ever. And I was like, oh God, what is he thinking? Right. So it turns out I am in this corporate video. It's for TWC Services, and I'm in the process of trying to get some clips of that. But I play the technician, the first technician that the business calls, and I'm a total screw up. I'm just this redneck idiot who shows up, and I'm a slob, and I just look horrible in my uniform, and I got trash in my truck and stuff, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I would, and there were some really good lines in there for that, and that was a fun role to do.
And all the stuff you've done, do you have a preference as to what you kind of work you like doing best?
Now that I'm getting into voiceover, I feel like I can get out of my box a little bit, especially if I'm in a studio. I can just let loose. Um, I've enjoyed the film work because I'm starting to get a little bit more some serious roles, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, I love doing comedy, but I want to get some serious ones. Um, yeah, I guess it's just a matter of I think voiceover is kind of becoming more of a thing for me. Although, you know, I still want to get the film and television work and whatever I can get because I really haven't done any TV since 2018. I did a pilot and it didn't get picked up, but at least I was in that, which was cool.
I ask actors often the question that, aside from acting, do you ever see yourself wanting to direct?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know if I wouldn't say that I wanted to be a film director, but I mean, maybe down the line. But I think for me, um, I'm wanting to get into podcasting as well, and we've talked about that, and I've got two shows that I've been developing for about a year now that I want to turn into a podcast, but it's just a matter of me learning, the process of how to do it because I've had podcasting work in the past, but never where I was the last word said, where I can kind of make it my own.
Well, I
And
think we went to the show on that. Talk about the other podcast you did for a while.
oh, I did the Stain Fortune podcast. I got somehow connected on Facebook with Joe Calderwood, who's the author of the Clint Kennedy crime series, and the first book in the series was Stained Fortune. And Joe and I got in touch through a mutual friend, and originally he thought about doing an audio book. We
I
set up a
remember.
meeting where we talked. Oh, hello, sorry,
Yeah, you're there.
my battery on my phone's getting low. Sorry.
Well, we're wrapping up.
But
Just finish the story. Yeah,
okay,
about Joe
yeah.
Calderwood.
So Joe and I had a meeting about it, and I told him, I said, I think it'd be better if we did it more like an audio drama where we can hire actors to play the various roles, and I could be your casting director on top of being a voiceover talent, and I can, start. I can cast the roles and go from there. And then it actually turned out really well. We had Haven Volpe who played Clint Kennedy, and we had Alan Chandler who played Alvaro, and we just had a whole bunch of great actors in that cast. And we ended up doing about 15 episodes. I had talked to Joe probably about 2 years ago about doing um, Money Faucet, which was going to be the second book, I believe. And we haven't really gotten back together about it, but we did have Jeff Messer on board as well. He actually played a character in the show, and Jeff helped Joe produce the podcast in a way where he could take the book and turn it into a script, so we can have the actors do, the various roles. And
Well,
very proud of that project.
should be, but something to look forward to. So to wrap up before your electricity or your juice runs out, we're talking with a friend of mine, Charlie Wilson, as you've heard, very, very talented guy. You name it in terms of entertainment, he's been involved in or plans to be involved in the future. Actor, performer, podcaster. You had something else you wanted to add to the list?
Yeah, I actually just got cast in a musical that's going to have its world premiere um, in June. It's my first time being on stage in 5 years. It's called Caritas, and it's produced by Larry Donahue. And I get to play three roles in that, and it's going to be at the Dinah Wortham Theater in June. We're doing four performances, and all the proceeds go to the Manna Food Bank, which is a great charity, a great organization, and we're really looking forward to that.
Well, do me a favor, keep in touch with me, especially about that. We'll also
Yeah,
keep posting on the entertainment page on Facebook, or if you ever get back on Facebook again. And I'd like
yeah,
to thank you, Charlie, for again joining me in this Blaine's World webcast. I'd also like to thank my producer, Cappy Tossetti. And two final thoughts. One, hope we bump into each other sometime in the near future. And two,
absolutely.
I'll give you the last say. To find out right now, the best way to find out about Charlie Wilson, give that YouTube channel and also the your email address if you want.
Yeah, the YouTube channel, like we said, it's at Charlie Wilson Actor 828 is the best way to find it. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I've actually just recently published my IMDb page, so you can also find me on Internet Movie Database, and I'm hoping to add some more credits to that as the time goes on, God willing.
And the email address again is?
Oh, charliewilsonactor@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you for being my guest, Charlie. As always, a pleasure. And we'll hopefully speak to each other in person sometime. You be well,
That
man.
sounds great.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.